I said, I don't give a shit about the numbers. I don't care. I'll talk about them. But the only reason I'll even talk about his numbers is because he's passing the main test for me. And that's the eye test. The Browns suck. The Browns suck. They're 3-9. We're probably going to be getting a new head coach next year. We need all new receivers. We need all new offensive line. The only test that matters from here on out the rest of the season is the eye test. Does Shedeur Sanders look like an NFL quarterback? Does he look like he can play in this league? Because I'm telling you, if you're just going to look at numbers, his completion percentage isn't up with this guy or that guy. We don't have receivers. We drop passes all the time. We don't have good blocking. We don't have good coaching. We don't have good scheme. We don't have anything.
The Cleveland training ground is absolutely electric right now, buzzing with an energy you can almost feel through the screen. You can see the entire team out on the field pushing themselves past their limits as they gear up for the next huge game. But let's be honest, all eyes are on one position, and that's the quarterback spot. Shedeur Sanders is back with the first team after a tough loss last week, and you can just tell he's working harder than ever before. From the very first moment the camera focuses on him, it's impossible to ignore Shedeur's presence. He's carrying himself with this air of pure, unshakable confidence. And his throws, they are nothing short of perfect. We're talking accurate, crisp, and placed right on the money every single time. For him, this isn't just another practice session. This is his statement, his opportunity to prove to everyone, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he is the man for the job. Even with the intense competition brewing out there, Shedeur manages to keep his composure. While other guys might buckle under this kind of pressure, he is making it crystal clear that he belongs in that QB1 conversation. It all kicks off with the fundamentals, the group warm-ups designed to get the blood pumping and the muscles loose. But here's where things really start to get interesting. Once he moves into those individual drills, the intensity cranks up to a whole new level. When Shedeur stepped into those one-on-one drills with the receivers, it was immediately obvious that he wasn't just going through the motions, he was on a mission to elevate his game. With every single throw, the ball placement was absolutely impeccable. It didn't matter if the receiver was running a short route nearby or streaking deep down the field, his accuracy was just flawless in every scenario. You can see there's no overthinking, no hesitation in his mechanics. His throws were just so smooth and surgically precise. And let me tell you, he wasn't just relying on raw power. After each dropback, it was his timing, his finesse, and his deep understanding of the play that stood out as incredibly impressive. It was during the first team reps that Shedeur Sanders truly began to separate himself from the rest of the pack. Seriously, if there were any lingering doubts or questions about his potential, this part of the practice completely erased them from existence. Every single pass he threw felt deliberate, like it had a purpose. He wasn't just mindlessly chucking the ball downfield. Instead, you could see him actively analyzing the defense, making split-second decisions, and then delivering the football with pinpoint accuracy. The moment that truly left everyone's jaws on the floor was when Shedeur unleashed an absolute masterpiece of a throw. The pocket was closing in fast, but he expertly sidestepped the pressure with a quick, agile move, instantly reset his feet, and then fired a deep strike down the sideline. It was a perfectly aimed rocket that landed right in his receiver's hands in perfect stride. The timing, the touch, the precision, it was the very definition of a textbook highlight reel throw from a top-tier quarterback. And he didn't stop there. He immediately kept that momentum rolling with a whole string of flawless throws that followed. It was clear that Shedeur was completely in the zone, delivering passes that looked almost effortless. Every single one was smooth, deadly accurate, and absolutely impossible for a defender to catch, landing softly and perfectly right into the grasp of his receivers. With each pass, it looked like the ball was on a mission, as if it was laser-guided to its target. It became incredibly obvious that on this day, there was no defense on that field that could possibly stop these throws. He was just operating on a different level. The very next play Shedeur took part in was an absolute masterclass in misdirection and football IQ. Picture this. The pocket starts to collapse around him yet again, but he maintains his legendary composure. He takes a strategic step back, almost baiting the defense, making it look like they have him trapped for a sack. But this is where things get truly brilliant. In a move that was so subtle it was almost invisible, Shadur made a slight hand movement, faking a throw in one direction. It was just enough to throw off the defenders and buy himself that critical extra fraction of a second he needed. That tiny moment of deception was all it took to create a new opening and continue the play. And believe it or not, the next throw was even more impressive than the one that came before it. This time, Shadur found himself in an incredibly difficult spot, completely surrounded by defenders who were all scrambling for position as the pocket narrowed in on him. Let's be real. The majority of quarterbacks in that situation would have tried to force a throw and risk an interception, or they would have just braced for the hit. But Shadur? He remained totally unfazed by the chaos. He didn't panic. He didn't scramble wildly. Instead, his focus was drawn to something on the field that everyone else had completely missed. Because the defense was so preoccupied with the pressure they were bringing, they completely lost track of his receiver. Shadur took a quick glance across the field and spotted his guy, perfectly positioned on the far left side, just waiting to break free into open space. But Jeudy Sanders wasn't just relying on his powerful arm to get the job done. Oh no, he was also putting his incredible footwork and his ability to stay calm under immense pressure on full display. During the next repetition, he found himself in yet another precarious situation with the pocket collapsing and defenders closing in from every angle. There was virtually no room to make a clean throw, but instead of forcing a bad pass or taking the sack, which is what most quarterbacks struggle with in these circumstances, Shadur did something truly special. Without ever losing his downfield focus, he bought himself precious time. Despite the pressure mounting from all directions, Shadur maintained his composure, quickly evaluated the situation, and without a moment's hesitation, he shifted his position to the left. This wasn't some desperate scramble to escape, it was a calculated, deliberate move designed to get a better view of the field. By shifting laterally, he was able to clear the clutter of bodies in front of him and establish a clean line of sight beyond the chaos. Shedeur Sanders just kept on finding new ways to showcase his incredible versatility. To really drive home just how well-rounded his game is, he took things to a whole other level by employing some devious moves that truly highlighted his dynamic skill set. During one particular rep, the situation took a completely unexpected turn, and it left absolutely everyone on the field, including the coaching staff, in a state of stunned disbelief. After receiving the snap, Shadur didn't throw the ball, which caught everyone by surprise. Instead, he executed a move that nobody could have possibly anticipated. Without even a split second of hesitation, he handed the ball off to a defensive tackle who was lined up right next to him. Yes, you heard that correctly. A defensive tackle. And let me assure you, this was not a mistake or a busted play. This was all part of the game plan. With the ball now securely in his possession, the massive tackle took off down the field, weaving through a crowd of players and using his incredible momentum to make a powerful dash toward the end zone. But that wasn't even the end of the story. The final rep of the day was a moment that everyone who witnessed it is going to remember for a very, very long time. The pressure on Shedeur Sanders was absolutely immense. The defense was closing in from all sides, and it truly looked like there was no possible way for him to escape. The pocket was disintegrating rapidly, defenders were flying in from every direction, and you could feel the tension ratcheting up with every passing millisecond. This was one of those make-or-break, high-stakes moments, and it was in this exact situation that Shadur truly proved his mettle. Despite the intense pressure swirling all around him, he remained as cool as ice. He calmly scanned the field, located his receiver who was within range, but also noticed a significant risk, the very real possibility of an interception. The window to make the throw was incredibly narrow, and even the slightest mistake could have resulted in a costly turnover. Throughout the first team practice, Shedeur Sanders had an absolutely outstanding day, which effectively solidified his position as the starting quarterback and showed everyone exactly why he is the leader this team desperately needs. From the second he stepped onto that field, his presence was simply impossible to ignore. The pinpoint accuracy of his throws, the sharpness of his decision-making, and his flawless ability to read the defense were all on another level. In each and every rep, he demonstrated a deep expertise and a total command over the game, proving that he is more than prepared to take on any challenge that comes his way. Shadur consistently stayed calm and collected under pressure, effortlessly navigating tight situations and making incredible throws with surgical precision. His poise and self-assurance were on full display, showing that he's not only capable of handling the immense responsibility of being the starting quarterback, but that he is fully equipped to thrive in that role. Now, with the Cleveland team shifting their focus to the upcoming game against the Tennessee Titans, Shadur is more than ready and enthusiastic to lead the charge. His incredible performance in practice has demonstrated beyond any doubt that he can handle the pressure, and when it's game time, you know he is going to give it his absolute all. Shedeur Sanders is completely locked in, and he is prepared to take on the Titans with maximum force and unwavering determination. The stage has been set, and Shadur is primed and ready to shine once again in his role as the team's quarterback. So I have to ask, what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you think Shedeur Sanders can carry this incredible performance into the actual game against the Tennessee Titans? How prepared do you really think he is to handle the immense pressure that comes with being the definitive starting quarterback? Or do you believe there's still something else he needs to prove before he's truly earned that spot? I really want to know what your thoughts were on his performance in practice today. Did he completely blow away your expectations? Or did he just meet the high standard you already had for him? Drop all of your thoughts down in the comments section below. Let's start a conversation about Shedur's readiness and what you think he's going to bring to the field this week.